There are a lot of content creators about music production, me for example, and we share a lot of tips, tricks, how we make songs, and sometimes we find really interesting techniques, but we don't really know if they actually work or not. So for this video I collected 5 mastering tricks I saw on Instagram and TikTok, and we're gonna test them to see if they are actually good or not. The first one is from Slatin, a really good mixing and mastering engineer, and is this one.
Are you clipping like a pro mastering engineer? Let me show you one of my favorite techniques. For this example I'm going to use the song 888 Karma by Chinamora and Bobby. So what I did here, I loaded my audio effect rack. If you're using Ableton 12, you can download it right now. It consists of an EQ, a clipper, and an EQ after clipper. So if I bring this gain reduction knob up, you can see that the EQ after the clipper is going to recover exactly the same amount that I'm suppressing from the first EQ. And this is going to allow me to refocus the clipper and to change its behavior.
Okay, so I guess what this is gonna do is avoid distorting the low end while keeping the song clipped, and this way we can get a louder volume. Let's try it. For this first technique I'm going to use this Anima melodic template I did that you can download with the link in the description, and I'm gonna do it in the second drop that sounds like this. First, what I'm gonna do is clip it until it distorts, so this way we can test properly the technique. I'm going to use Cape Clip 0, that is free. Okay, I'm distorting way too much, probably he doesn't go this far, but I want to really test it. So he has a Pro Cube before the clipper reducing. I'm gonna reduce, I don't know, 4 dBs maybe. And after the clipper we put the same EQ, but here it's gonna be 4 up. So this is what we have, and let's see now if it works. It's not distorting. Let's disable them. Okay, we avoid the distortion, that's really good, but the thing is, are we getting louder or not? So what I'm going to do is disable all of this, load a new K-Clip 0, and just clip it before distorting. We'll be here, and now we need to compare this version with the one with the cues and see if it sounds louder or what. I feel like the leads sound a bit more in your face and sound a little bit louder. It's not bad, but I don't really feel like it's a game changer. The next one is by elevenoneonemastering, and is this one.
When you've got your track mixed and you're happy with it and you're just about to bounce it out, or even before that, but let's just say as a final checkpoint, open up a limiter just on the master channel. Don't worry about the settings of the limiter too much, yeah, because this is a simple process. With that limiter, I just want you to push the gain up so that it starts to increase the volume of your track, so that it starts to hit the limiter and you start to get some gain reduction. Much like what you can see here with the little red sort of peaks being limited. Start to get some gain reduction, and you should maybe start to hear things sound a little bit undesirable. This is a good thing, all right, because you're now hearing where there could potentially be issues with your mix.
What he's saying is to put a limiter when you finish your mix before mastering it. Squeeze the song, and what this is gonna do is the loud peaks are going to get controlled because of the limiter. But if you keep increasing the gain, what it's gonna do is the quiet sounds are going to get louder and closer to the loud ones, because those ones are just controlled, okay? So these ones are getting closer. So this is gonna make some sounds that maybe are more in the background stand out a bit more, and maybe you can find some problems in the mix that you can solve, so then when you master it and apply the correct mastering settings and the limiter and all of this, you already have solved all those issues. So I'm going to use again this song, and I'm just gonna use this limiter, click here to keep the loudness, and now increase it. A bit more. Okay, here is distorting, probably he doesn't say to go that far, but I want to go to the extreme. Now if we listen, maybe I hear the low mid a bit muddy. On the kick I had this EQ, and maybe I can reduce a bit more because I hear a bit too much punch here. This way sounds cleaner, but this is too much, of course, maybe 1 dB or so. And I also think that the leads in these areas sound a bit too strong. Right here, so reduce a little bit. And also reduce a little bit also in the mid bass. Around here. So now let's check before and after. I'm gonna keep the limiter to do this. It actually sounds a bit cleaner and the kick is not distorting that much. Maybe as I went too far with the limiter, I don't really need to reduce that much on its sound, but a little bit can make it sound a bit cleaner. I like this one. The next one is by MD3 Sign.
An amazing mastering trick to make a master sound wider is to use an EQ and then create a point around, let's say maybe 2 kHz, then create a bit of a boost there, then do the split here between the left and the right channels. Now split them a bit like this, then you can select both of them, then position them around this specific frequency range. Now you can go closer, you can go further away. This depends on how it sounds.
Let's try it. So I'm gonna try this with my song Favorito. Actually, this is the mastering project and I already have some mastering, but I'm gonna add this one. Let's try it. He says to boost around 2 kHz. Now split left and right, separate this a little bit. He has it a bit more narrow and then he comes back so the middle is around 2K. I want it to be wider. Okay, before and after. I think it's good. I think it makes it a bit wider because basically what it's doing is changing a bit each side, you know, and the more different the left and the right are, the wider it feels. So you create some width by doing this, but I don't think it's a really big difference. Maybe just as an extra touch if you want a bit extra width, and probably he's doing it around 2000 Hz because that area is feels more present, so enhance more that area. The next one is from Luca Pretolesi, a top mastering engineer, and actually I've talked about this technique several times.
Fat Filter Pro MB for mid-range expansion. Free mode, I pick the bottom end as a trigger and apply to the mid band.
I couldn't find a video where he explains better this technique, more step by step, but I can show you. Basically what he's doing is taking the low end to trigger the mid-highs to enhance this more, the presence area. So what you're gonna do is make a band here. I want it more brighter, so around here will be good. Like this is good. But now what we're gonna do is instead compression, we're gonna click on expand to boost it. Let's put this around 2 dBs is good enough. But to make sure what triggers this is not this band itself, like will be right now, and is the bottom end, the kick, we need to click on expert, click on free, and now you're gonna have this bar here. You put it around the low end, around here, and now whatever happens here is gonna trigger to boost this. I'm gonna exaggerate it. As you can see, it's flat, way too much. But as you can see, it goes with the kick, okay? Now let's remove this and let's check before and after. So you can hear better. I'm going to expand this more, like 4 or 5 dBs. In this case, it boosts a lot the vocal. And if we go to the synth part, okay, so this can give a lot of presence to your song if it needs, but this is way too much. Usually have like 2 dBs, 1 dB and a half, and maybe not all the time on the top. I really like this one, and actually since I discovered this one, I'm using it basically in all the masters I do. Of course, if it's needed, if it's already way too strong in this area, you don't need to, but it's a really good one. And the last one is also from Luca Pretolesi, and it's kind of similar, like giving more presence in the mid-high area, but not in the same way.
How to achieve loudness on your master with saturation. There is a plugin, it's called Saturn 2 from Fat Filter, and I build a preset myself. It's called Saturation for Loudness. Everything starts from the mid-range. I like to use an envelope to trigger dynamically level of saturation. Let's listen to that.
So let me show you how he's doing this. For this technique, I'm going to use my remix of Dame by Bad Gal that actually is already out and you can download it completely for free if you like it. We need Saturn 2 and he has 4 bands, but basically he only uses the mid-high one. So it doesn't really matter where you have these ones because he doesn't really use them. Make sure you mute all the other ones. And every song is gonna be different, but he has around 430 Hz and around 6000. Is this area, but now we need the modulation. You need to click here on add modulation, and he uses the new envelope follower. So you have this, okay? If you click here, you have it like he has. Now you click and drag here to this area. It creates this automatically, and this what he's gonna do is trigger with this envelope. He's gonna increase and reduce the saturation. Another thing he has is this in mid-side mode, and he reduces a little bit the mid, so he's more focused on the mid, around 0.70, and he has a lot of distortion, like 60%. He says he starts around here, but I think this is way too much, but let me show you. So I'm gonna reduce a little bit. Still a bit too much saturation for my taste, and he recommends 2 different types of saturation: warm tape or clean tube. Clean tube is a bit cleaner. And this is an extra tip from me. Here the envelope says that the release is 250 milliseconds, okay? What we can do is take a bit of the advantage of this and use the BPM of our song. This way we make sure that when the next kick starts, this modulation is to the 0. So I'm going to this website, I just put BPM to milliseconds on Google, and here I'm gonna put my BPM 128, and the closest one to 250 is 234. So I'm going to go here release 234. So now it's more synced to the BPM. And let's check before and after with the entire song and see if it's too much, if not, if it's adding something or not. It's like the previous one, it enhanced this area, but with saturation instead of just expanding. So I think it's quite good. And actually the interesting thing is that even if we solo and we hear a bit of distortion, with the entire song we don't really hear that distortion. Then he recommends 2 last things. First, click here and put it to superb, and then have it on linear phase, so we avoid phase shifting. So all the tricks I tested today are pretty good. All of them come from really good producers, so obviously it works. In the end, every producer have different techniques, but the good thing is to know them all, so you know which one to pick for each scenario. If you want me to do more videos about testing internet things, put it down below in the comments, and see you in the next video.